there is nothing worse than being in addiction. Nothing is worse than that. That is hell. The doctor said, you have one more drink, Davinia, and you'll die. So what did I do? I got myself another doctor.
So what is biohacking?
So you can hack into your biology. Biohacking gave me hope. You are in control of your health, nobody else.
Hey everybody, welcome back to On The Mend. I'm Matt Willis, and today I've got someone on the podcast who I've followed for years. I feel a bit weird saying that to someone I've met.
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
But I've literally followed you on social media for a long time. Davinia Taylor, thank you so much for coming on. I think what makes your story so powerful is how you've completely rebuilt your life. You know, when you think about now you're a best-selling author, a wellness pioneer, and I've read that your biological age is 20 years younger than your actual age.
Yeah, I mean, people, they'll look at me and go, she doesn't look 20. No, I don't look 20, of course. I don't have like Botox or fillers or anything like that. But my inflammatory markers, like these, because you can just get a blood test and it just measures how inflamed you are. And
is this C-reactive protein? Is that what that is?
Yes. They do a number of those. And it just gives you a guesstimate. It's a bit of fun, but it kind of shows that you're on the right track. I got like a liver test as well. Right. And that's completely clear, which of course it wouldn't have been.
Oh my God,
like
for an alcoholic, that's a dream.
And I'm just smug. I'm like... Yeah. It's like when you want to get pulled over by the police.
Absolutely.
Go, please breathalyse me. Please. And I'm like, there's nothing, they're not interested.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to know my liver's, actually the liver is quite an amazing organ, particularly if you are trying to come off alcohol, because it's the one organ that regenerates. Did you know your liver is only ever 3 years old?
No.
So that is like, that for me, when I first got into recovery from alcohol, and we'll get into that, that was that little, instead of just, forget it, I've ruined everything.
Yeah, I'm ruined.
You can get better. And that is just fascinating because once you understand the gut-liver-brain connection, you can see why you feel hungover for days after drinking, because the liver is connected to the brain as well as the gut. And it's all those neurotransmitters that make you feel guilt, shame and remorse. But don't worry, your liver can come back. It's a fascinating organ.
That's unbelievable. I didn't know that.
It's only ever 3 years old.
That's crazy because I remember, like, obviously when I came out of rehab for the first time, I had all these tests and they were terrible. Yeah, But I did have some tests not too long ago and everything was looking pretty good.
Yeah, of course.
I was like, all right, there we go.
Yeah, you're back, and it's great to get a second chance, particularly if you've gone through the gates of hell and you already feel like, your brain actually tells you, just forget it. An alcoholic brain will say, just carry on drinking.
Yeah.
Whereas when you hear something like a message of hope like that you can get it back and you can regrow your liver and you can get your mental health back. Really bloody quickly, because remember, the body wants to survive. In fact, it doesn't want to just survive, it wants to thrive. Right. And you put the right ingredients in and you will do. Because like you, I mean, I had a liver test way back, it would be nearly 20 years ago now, and the doctor said, you have one more drink, Davinia, and you'll die. So what did I do? I got myself another doctor.
Right.
Absolute rip-off.
This guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Doesn't have a clue. Doesn't have a clue. Rude little man. So... You know
Amazing.
what I mean? But I just thought if
Fantastic.
anyone's struggling out there, so don't worry, the body wants to repair. It just takes a little bit of time before the brain will catch up.
I love that. The body doesn't want to survive, it wants to thrive.
Yes.
You just have to give it the right ingredients to survive. Right?
Correct.
Love that. So when you think about gratitude list, if you think of 3 things you're grateful for today, what springs to mind?
Shower.
Yeah.
Definitely. I really like being able to just jump in the shower and just having the time in the morning to have the shower. Train being on time. And actually just being able to be here and just share my story without any worries, without any skeletons in my cupboard, just a freedom from my past, and it's actually useful. And that's like a biggie, a little bit highbrow one. But it is, because if I'm useful, it keeps me sober.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's just one of these, just acknowledging that I've got an ability to do that with conviction, with honesty, might help someone else. And that keeps me sober. I mean, it is a little bit selfish because it's the feedback loop. Yeah. But really, thank you very much for having me on. I really appreciate you and your team.
We appreciate you coming here. So thank you for that. Thank you for a gratitude list. Well, you've obviously talked about relationships with alcohol, right? So how did that develop for you? And are you sober now?
Coming up for 17 years now.
Yes. Bosh.
Yes. And it's just like every day is like day one for me, It's about the quality, and I've had peaks and troughs in my quality, and everyone's a little bit different, going through custody battles, going through relocations, having a second custody battle with a second dad. Honest to God, I have gone through the courts, which has always been a big trigger. My mum dying. Yeah. But you know what? There is nothing worse than being in addiction. Nothing is worse than that. That is hell, because it's a physical feeling for me. And so my journey through alcoholism has made me really and this biohacking world that I live in as well has got me really interested, because when I first got sober, I didn't have a clue why I was drinking. I did like regression therapy. There must be trauma. There must be some sort of abuse. There must be something somewhere that I've blanked out, because I had a really good childhood. Loving mum, great dad, lovely friends at school, nothing. But there was something in me that made me go out.
So what is biohacking?
So you can hack into your biology. It's different strokes for different folks, and that's why biohacking is so valuable. Some people love overnight oats in the morning and they feel energized by it. For me, boom, dampens me right down. If I was super stressed, I might have overnight oats, right? I would do, because it lowers my cortisol, lowers my dopamine so much that it's like taking Xanax.
Right,
like
wow.
That. A little nap, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what it does for me. But other people,
this is me and my wife. Like literally, if I have carbohydrates in the morning, I'm dead
for the day.
I'm dead.
Not
I'm
interested.
absolutely dead.
Not
but
interested.
if I run on fats and proteins, I'm pretty good throughout the day. Yeah. But then I have them in the evening to help me sleep, and
so
then I
you're
feel pretty good for my
flexible,
workout.
and you're timing it just for your circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
And that's perfect. And that's why biohacking's for everybody.
And my wife is the opposite.
Is she now?
She needs. She won't train on an empty stomach. She kind of
really?
she needs a carbohydrate-based meal in the morning.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow,
shattered.
Yeah, I know. I'm absolutely wrecked
Gaulless.
about that.
What?
I tried to do bodybuilding for a while.
Okay. Oh, you do phases like me, don't you?
Very unsuccessfully, but I tried for a long time. But at least 6 months. That's quite a long time for me.
You get your thing, don't you?
Yeah,
you
got my thing. And I had to have oats every morning, and I'd be absolutely ruined by 11 o'clock.
Bloated,
just like
everything.
feeling rubbish. Yeah, but that was me.
Yeah, me too. But that's the great thing about biohacking. So like I track my sleep on the Aura Ring. I know how many steps I'm doing, and kind of I needed that at the beginning.
Yeah.
I needed that at the beginning of this wellness journey, because we've been so indoctrinated to ask other people how we feel. What do your blood say? What's your blood pressure doing? How's your mood? They'll tell you, oh, well, your bloods are fine, you're normal. Fucking not.
Yeah.
They're not, because I don't feel right.
Yeah.
I'm telling you my symptoms, doctor, and it's just dismissed. I mean, ask any woman in the perimenopause who's asked for testosterone, which boosts self-esteem, which boosts muscle mass, which actually boosts you get up and go.
Yeah.
And often you'll be told, oh, it's a male hormone.
What was the first biohacking practice that you tried?
So the cold shower, I really got into that. And there's a little caveat on cold showers, right? Because I did it to boost dopamine. Now, the body learns very, very quickly. It'll learn habit very quickly, and it'll become tolerant. So when you're exposing yourself to the ice or too cold, whatever you do, don't do it every day. Right. Whatever you do, don't do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because the body will learn the routine and it will stop the exhilaration of dopamine.
Right.
So you got to flip a coin. You've got to keep the body guessing.
I do it every night before I go on stage with the band. Like so we've got a little ice bath backstage that I travel with, and I put it on.
I can imagine you doing that. I can imagine you doing that.
45 minutes before my set, I go in there for about 2 to 3 minutes, and it vibes me up, because otherwise I have to drink energy drinks. I don't want to do that anymore. It's
not forever, is it?
No. It's only for a few.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're going to do it year on year, flip a coin.
Okay, great.
Tails you go in the cold, heads you don't. But if you're using it as something now...
Oh, this is interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, because a little game as well.
Yeah.
I'll be praying for tails. Please not today.
Because again, I mean, it's all about chance.
I mean,
it's very much like the slot machine.
Yeah.
And it's very much how reels are addictive. It's a game of chance.
You went to rehab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, many times.
Yeah, me too. And there's that moment in rehab when you're hearing other people talk, and you're just like, oh my God, whoa. What was that like for you? When you think of yourself and you think of your life and you're like, oh, I haven't really got any reason to complain here.
Well, I used to kick off about it. I said, tell me, what's my reason?
Yeah.
What is wrong with me? I hate myself, And I remember there was a guy called Fonny. He was like 20 odd years sober, and you go, it is what it is, because I was in South Africa. Yeah, it is what it is. You're just an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Accept it.
That's not good enough.
I said, not good enough. I need to know why. I need to target that why, and I need to go and sue them. You know what I mean? But no, sometimes it is what it is. But I that wasn't enough for me. Hence me going in through like my genetics and understanding I'm Scandinavian, and you got the Vikings who used to drink before going into battle. I mean, it's all like, it's learnt behaviour. Thousands of years of evolution.
Generational learned behaviour.
Yeah, of course it is.
That's massive, isn't it?
And it's interesting because if you look at Asian communities, they have a gene whereby if they have alcohol, they get what's known as the Asian flush. So they'll feel very nauseous and get very red, and a lot of them will stop drinking.
Right.
But we generally don't have that.
Right.
Yeah, from a European sort of heritage, we don't have that gene. We don't carry that gene at all.
Right.
So it's very interesting. You do have genetic play as well. But
That's
obviously,
so interesting. I've never heard that before.
The Asian addict will probably go for something else. You know, they could go for nicotine or gambling or whatever, or whatever's easy access to them, whatever lights them up. You don't get away from it, you know. We're all very much type A personalities who are addicts generally. We are outward seeking. We are generally, we do like to create. We are often creative types. We are very outgoing sometimes. And we do generally have a type A personality. But what's very interesting now with the advent of phones, you're finding type B personalities who are normally much more serotonin-based, more the caregivers, the people who tell stories, people who are very much homey type people are now getting addicted.
I'm just imagining you were going into rehab, right? So what brought you to rehab?
It was my mum.
Right.
She's like, right, okay, we have to stop this. I couldn't stop. I was getting divorced. And because you need every single brain cell to work to go through which is a full-time job getting divorced.
Absolutely,
Anyone who's getting divorced will know. And it's more common than ever. But I still couldn't think properly without a glass of wine. But I couldn't drink because that's why I was getting divorced. I mean, it was a catch-22.
My God,
Oh, it's just terrible. Me and my ex-husband are great now. We are great, honestly. We get on better now than we ever did, to be honest.
Wow.
So that takes a long time.
Yeah.
So patient, everyone. I never thought I'd say that like 20 years ago, but we are great. The divorce was kind of a gift because what I did was I flew down to South Africa because I needed 3 months of rehab. I couldn't do the month one because I'd just go back. I go back out. You know, I knew I needed.
Had you done the month one before?
Yeah, I'd done the month one before, and then I just thought I might have red wine.
Yeah.
Because that's sophisticated. Absolutely not.
This time I just smoke weed.
You know what I mean?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a gateway drug. So I went down to South Africa where A, it's a lot cheaper. B, they take your passport off you. C, they take the credit card off you. And D, you ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
You don't know anyone.
You know that feeling when you wake up and it's like you've slept, but you're still knackered? Well, I used to blame the kids, the late nights, my busy schedule, basically everything, but what I was actually sleeping on, my mattress. Turns out that was a problem all along. When you're trying to rebuild yourself as a husband, a dad, a mate, whatever, you learn that good sleep isn't just a luxury, it's what you need to fill those roles. So over at On The Mend, my podcast, we switched to Simbra hybrid mattress. We chose this mattress as we learned the hybrid layers adapt to your body, keep you cool and give you proper support. All of this helps so much when you're waking up refreshed and you're not dragging yourself through the day. So you can become a better version of yourself through the power of sleep. Simba's won over 100 sleep awards and 6 Which Awards. Best buys, and I get why. You get over a 200-night free trial, a 10-year guarantee, and flexible finance options. So there really isn't a risk, and you'll get to see how amazing you really, really sleep. Honestly, it's amazing how much better life feels when you're well rested. Head to simbasleep.com/on the mend and give yourself the rest you deserve. When your days feel unpredictable, finding simple, consistent steps that take care of yourself can be a game changer. Vitals by Heights is one easy step that I can count on every day to keep my recovery on track. A huge lesson I've taken from so many of our guests on The Mend is that recovery isn't just about stopping old habits, it's about creating new, healthier ones that support the life we want to build. For me, staying consistent with my health is a big part of that, and Vitals by Heights is a simple yet powerful part of my daily routine. With 2 small capsules each morning, I'm fueling my body with everything I need to stay sharp, energized, and ready for the challenges ahead. But there's no guessing with Vitals, just the reassurance that I'm getting the right nutrients to keep me moving forward. It's simple, effective, and keeps me on track with my health. Click the link in our description and use code OTM20 to get 20% off your first month. If this conversation is helping you at all, please tap follow. It really helps us keep these conversations going. Now, back to the episode. You probably can't find your way around it.
No, I didn't. I mean, I could have been tempted at early days, but no, I got locked in, did detox for 3 days, and then I was in. Bizarrely, getting divorced got me so mad at the injustice at the social services, the family court. Anyone who's been divorced knows that no matter what side you're on, something's unfair.
Yeah.
So that rage I had, weirdly, gave my brain energy.
Oh,
motivation.
right, you're getting dopamine from almost anger.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I know that feeling.
Highly recommended. Get divorced in early sobriety. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, often you get told, live and let live. And I'm like, no, I've got to fucking fight here.
Yeah.
And I had a target and I had a fight. And I'm like, I am not relapsing.
I can hyper-focus on it.
Exactly.
Bosh.
So, anger's a great energy source as well, as long as it's funneled, you know, and it's utilized. So, I mean, no one gets divorced right. No one gets sober right. You know, we all do it in different ways. Yeah. But for me, in retrospect, gift from God, the timing. My body needed it. Once I got sort of sober, I'm like, and my mum had passed away and I, got over that hurdle and everything. I'm like, I still feel very flatline. And that's when I started attacking my diet and my lifestyle, because I was wading through sort of like quicksand, pushing the pram around the park like that. I did that all the time. And I was just doing the usual, getting up, watching, flipping Good Morning Britain, Lorraine Kelly, This Morning, Loose Women, going for a walk, getting the kids, coming back, eating some pasta, loads of granolas. I mean, literally flatline. That's all I was capable of.
Yeah.
And then I watched something on TV and it was about cold water exposure.
Right.
And I thought, surely to God, I can give that a go.
Yeah.
And something changed. Actually, just before that.
Where did you give that a go?
Why?
Where?
Just in my shower.
Right.
In my actual shower.
Yeah.
In Bayswater.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was February, so it was pretty cold.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
So I tried that, and do you know what it did? Because I didn't like it, but I did it. It gave me a little bit of self-esteem, which I hadn't had.
Absolutely.
No self-esteem, I
think that's so underrated, right? So sometimes, because, and also as an addict, we want things to be comfortable. Do you know, we don't like uncomfortable.
No.
We don't like putting ourselves in, why would we? But there's some kind of self-esteem you get from doing uncomfortable things, from doing the thing you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And that's recovery in a way, right? It's like, for me, it was like making amends to people I don't want to fucking make amends with.
Humbling.
All this kind of stuff.
Oh my
humbling.
God, I hate
but
that
also,
humility.
Isn't it?
Who's being humble?
Yeah,
okay.
Man.
Sorry about me.
And also for me, when I came out, I had to completely kind of rebuild my life and my relationships with people, so were you still hanging around with people you were hanging around with before you went into rehab?
Did you change a bit, but to be honest, I kind of changed really quickly.
Yeah.
So I changed pretty quickly. I mean, you start getting a new tribe. I mean, I'm very sort of tribal, I've still got, to be honest, I've still got my same best mates I had when I was at school.
Right.
They're still there.
Yeah.
So the ones that I was partying hard with, not so much.
Right.
They're kind of on the periphery of my life still now, but I've still got the ones who saw everything.
Right. So this is that Hollyoaks lot and Primrose Hill kind of gang and stuff like that.
So
this was
I've still
partying years.
Yeah, they're the partying years. So
Right.
I still see them occasionally, but nothing. I've still got my mates from school, who I sat next to Claire in French. and got kicked out.
Yeah.
So she's still my best
with
mate.
Claire.
Yeah, with Claire. She got away with it.
Did she go away with it?
I was like, yeah. And Sophie works for me at Willpower. She's my best mate.
Right, great.
35 years. And so I've got a crew of 5 that are all my best mates from school,
Right,
and
nice.
it's weird because all of them have drank more than me, but none of them are alcoholics.
Yeah.
And it's people can't get their head around that. And when people say, oh God, was it because you drank too much? I say, I bet you've drank more than me, but you'll never be an alcoholic, my friend.
Yeah. Isn't that bizarre?
Yes.
Yeah, because I know people who could have drunk me under the table as well. But I was an alcoholic and they're not.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I am an alcoholic, sorry, and they're not. So it's it's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah, and sometimes when I say that, people go, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've drank more than you. And I'm like, yeah. Loads more, mate.
Yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Isn't that crazy?
So, I like that analogy. So, I did change my friends pretty quickly because I started hanging around with sober people, And remember, I was still getting divorced. So, it was I was tunnel vision on that one. So for the first sort of 5 years of recovery, I was pretty locked in to that sober network. And then when my mum passed away, I met Matthew, and we'd had a couple of kids and everything. It kind of spread out again, and I do socialise fine with people who are still bang on it, to be honest. But I just dip in and dip out. I go to the Hacienda reunion and stuff like that. I'm a massive house music fan. That really gets me going. I listen to it every morning. I go for a 7K run with the dogs in the rain, and that just sorts out my dopamine, so I can do some admin. If I don't do that, I can't do admin. I know that's my pill. So I mean, for me, I've totally 180'd my life from lying in bed trying to figure out where I can get wine from to jumping out of bed and doing a 7K run. And I literally thought I was that person who, if I go to Sainsbury's in the car and there wasn't a space in mother and baby, I'd drive home because I couldn't be arsed walking an extra 20 steps. My brain had calculated too much, D. Go home, order it online. You know what I mean? And that is the brain taking over. It's like preserving me because it doesn't have energy. And that's where biohacking's come in for me so fabulously, like accessing these ketones, accessing a diet schedule whereby during the day I can be lively and confident and optimistic. And at night I can have like, meat, 2 veg and sourdough and get cozy and watch marshmallow TV, watch, and sit in my little silly sauna and just feel that serotonin, which tips into melatonin and get a good night's sleep, which I score on my Oura ring, is amazing power for me because I didn't know what my mood was going to do from 1 minute to the next, particularly now I'm like in the menopause as well. Just knowing how to hack how your brain chemistry works is just amazing. And to be honest, it's nothing new. It's exactly what our ancestors did 10,000 years ago. This isn't anything fandangled. This is just what Homo sapiens did to evolve.
Yeah, absolutely. I resonate with that so much because I remember when I was first getting clean, I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Everything I do is like fucking a bit bleh. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. And I was like, take the drink and the drugs away. I can't do that anymore. No. What am I going to do? Like, life's going to be so fucking boring.
And that's hell for us. That's purgatory.
Absolutely
boredom.
Hell. Yeah.
No creativity is hell for us.
But my life is completely opposite to that. Yeah.
I mean, that's also, just the devil, isn't it?
I quite like a bit of chill.
I do.
I really do.
Very interested in
I
early
say
nights.
It's going from the fast lane to the bus lane, but the bus lane's fucking rad.
Yeah, yes.
Do you know what I mean? Quite liking the bus lane. It's all right.
I do. Tripping along.
Yeah.
It's great. No surprises. Nothing that I can't handle, And I just think, God, if I'd have told the old me that, I'd have probably punched myself in the face and said, get the hell away from me.
Absolutely.
You are the worst person. Super boring. But, it's great to be a parent who, the kids have never seen me drunk.
Yeah. How beautiful.
I mean, how great is that? What a gift is that? They've
such a
seen me
gift.
mental.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. They've seen me blow me top.
My kids see me mental every day.
All the time.
Yeah. In very different ways.
Asa, my number 3, he said to me, because I work funny hours and I'm sometimes in the office and we've got an office in Australia, so that means all sorts of different time zones and everything. And sometimes I miss pick up and I have to get one of the other mums to pick him up. He said to me the other day, Mum, why can't you just be like a normal mum? And I'm like, right, yeah. Sorry about that.
I've had that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want me though. You like me like this, really?
Because I would, because like this morning we couldn't find his tie. Any normal mum would know where the tie is. I'm there going,
it's not true. It's not true.
Literally before I got on the train to come here.
My wife's normal and she can't find the tie.
Good. Where do the ties go? And the socks? Where's these socks?
Exactly.
I mean, it's a nightmare. So I think tonight I'm labelling everyone's uniform because we're already a blazer down, 2 ties and a sports coat, which is brand new and 40 quid. Yeah. So I'm like, no, second-hand shop for us.
Exactly.
It's for them, you know what I mean? It cost me a fortune.
Absolutely. I've heard you talk about the ketogenic diet a few times now.
Oh, it's amazing.
And I've heard you speak about diet a few times and about emotional eating and how that kind of affected your life. Can we go back to that a little bit and kind of like how did food become a way of coping for you? So
when I put down the alcohol, because I understand that, bad ingredient, alcohol, no, that just kicks off like this craving for more. I can't touch that. What I didn't know was inside our ultra-processed foods, and bearing in mind, bread is one as well, there are certain ingredients that for me send me a little bit high but quite a bit low, quite a bit flatline, which will make me look for that Kit Kat.
For me, it's biscuits.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, the salt, the sugar, the crunch, they're lovely. They're designed to be that way. But
I eat all of them and then I feel terrible.
Yeah, of course you do. They are bliss point foods. So again, anyone struggling with food addiction, don't worry, mate, because it's not food. Like you can't overeat a steak. If you have steaks and eggs, you will be full. Yeah. It's something else that tells you to have the Kit Kat afterwards. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because these foods are designed not by dietitians, and we're talking 5 of the big food companies, your Nestle's, your PepsiCo, your Mars, your Unilever, Procter & Gamble, all these big hitters, right? I remember they came over from the tobacco company back in the 80s. So they got the same guys who designed cigarettes to start designing foods. So your food is what's known as a bliss point food. Right. It's designed by mathematicians, not dietitians.
So this is what's called the Dorito effect, right? That I've read about. Right,
Yeah.
okay. So
Phenomenal.
explain, what is a
Pringles
bliss
actually,
point?
well, Pringles actually advertise it. Once you pop, you can't stop.
Yeah.
Because what you've got a perfect combination of salt, table salt, sugar, and polyunsaturated fat. They're normally the ones. It's not the saturated fat. Saturated fat, for me, satisfies. So your butter, your avocado, which I know you're not a fan of.
Not a fan of it.
Not a fan of.
Sorry, avocado lovers out there.
I know, controversial.
Yeah, controversial.
So your saturated fat, or think of saturated fat as stable fat.
Yeah.
Polyunsaturated fat is an unstable fat. It oxidizes. And Huberman was talking about it also being an engine lubricant, like a detergent. So when you swallow something that contains these vegetable oils, these seed oils, apparently it strips the gut of little mucosa.
What?
I know. And in the mucosa, you've got these like little sensors that send a message to your brain, much like my mouth registering the acetate, to say what you've got in there.
Right.
So what amino acids you've got in there, what fatty acids you've got in there, what nutrients you've got in there. And hey, we've had enough. Stop eating. So we're fine. We've had a steak. We've had our eggs. We've had some root veg. We're fine. We're full now. Off you go. Carry on with your day.
I mean, it sounds like you have so much knowledge on this. I mean, but so how bad did the food problem get for you?
Well, I mean, I put my before and after picture on my book, It's Not a Diet.
Right.
And you can really, I look like I'm really bloated. And it's not just like my face, my knees, I was inflamed. I was like a walking bruise.
Wow.
And it wasn't just my body, it was my brain as well. I felt hungover. And I was like 5 years sober. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, this isn't on. You know, I'm hungover and I can't be arsed and I'm snapping at everyone. I didn't realise I had an inflamed brain as well as an inflamed body, because I've always been told the brain and body are separate, which is weird, because literally the brain uses the brain uses the most calories in the whole body. Why on earth wouldn't the calories affect the brain? But I think we're getting there now.
At the start of the year, a lot of us set intentions to be healthy, right? Now, some of us might be reassessing these goals or realising we didn't clearly understand our starting point. And that's where Randox Health comes in. On this show, we know how crucial it is to understand where you're at before deciding how to move forward. Your health is no different. That's why I recently used their Everyman Health Assessment. It tests up to 150 health markers like nutrition, hormones, heart, liver, and kidney health, so you'll understand exactly what's happening inside your body. The best part? It's quick and easy. You simply sign up online, visit one of their 40 clinics in the UK and Ireland, and you'll get your results in just 2 hours after your sample reaching their lab. Plus, the option for a follow-up test 6 months later to track your progress. It's smart. It's a proactive way to take control of your health. They also offer an Every Woman health assessment designed specifically for women's health needs. So if you're ready to really understand your health, visit Randox Health today and save 20% on all health checks with the code OTM20.
10 years ago, there was like, don't be ridiculous, what you eat doesn't impact your mental health. But now it's all changing. You know, now we understand that it really does, and it's very, very fast.
Was that the turning point for you then? Was it like hearing that you could change the way you felt mentally?
Yes, because I'm always after that. I'm always after optimizing my brain. I'm always after being in a great mood.
Yeah.
I'm always after being now.
Well, I even think about using. Towards the end of my using, I was just trying to feel normal.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, so I'm always trying to feel as good as I can.
Yes.
Even when I was in the depths of drugs, I wanted to feel good.
Yeah,
Do you know
of
what I mean?
course.
Like, so it's
Why else
the
would
same,
you do
right?
it?
Yeah.
So, like I said right at the beginning of this, it's like it's our natural state to look what's next.
Yeah.
Like, how can we make this better? How can we do more? How can we create more? How can we achieve more? We're likely that type of person, albeit if you are a writer or someone who's much more quiet than you and I, or a food prep, or whatever rocks your world, you're always looking forward to doing that, because that is how our brain works, because that's how our tribe survived and thrived.
Yeah.
So don't neglect that and try and be someone else. Just harness it and use it in another way, because it's an energy source that you were born to do.
And also, sometimes I can't even feel good thinking about doing it.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? I can get the pre.
That's dopamine. That's dopamine. That makes you motivate.
Yeah.
So I have to often think. So if I can't be asked going for a run in the morning, how I hack dopamine is I will have a coffee. Because caffeine opens the dopamine receptor.
Right.
It doesn't increase dopamine, helps you experience it more.
Right. Right, okay.
That's why coffee is great for some people with ADHD. They go, God, I feel better now.
Oh my God, I'm so pleased because I fucking love coffee.
Yeah, I love it. Of course you do, you know? And people who don't like coffee, there's other ways to get caffeine, you know? Great, clean, great nootropic drinks and everything all over the market. So the great thing about coffee is it will help you experience it more. Even on a drizzly day in Lancashire, I can really like struggle with motivation, obviously. So there's no procrastination. And the dogs come with me and we go for a run in the pissing rain. And by the end of it,
by doing that, that gives you the dopamine to do the thing that you don't want to do.
That little surge in dopamine, even if it is just like listening to Alison Limerick or something like that. And I'll just go, okay, go. And then just jump on it as fast as you can. Get out the door. Doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter what. No one gives a shit, by the way. A lot of the procrastination is what will people think. No one gives a shit because they're all in their own shit. You know, get out the door, run. Walk. Whatever.
I watched this thing the other day that was the most amazing thing, and it was this guy at an airport. He had his headphones on. So it was just him. No one gives a fuck about you.
No one, going up the stairs.
No one gives a fuck about
legend.
you. And I was like, that's the fucking best advice I've ever been given. It's like no one gives a fuck about you.
No, because
live your life. We're all thinking about ourselves. Do whatever the fuck you want.
And I say that to women who say, "Oh, I don't want to go to the gym. It's full of men." They really don't care because they're taking their bro picture.
Absolutely, they're too focused on the biceps.
Andrew Huberman in the sauna because they're like, you know what I mean? They are on their bro journey.
Absolutely, they really are.
So honestly, they don't give a shit about you. And the great thing about gyms and stuff, very quickly, if you just smile at the receptionist, and just go, oh God, I'm a bit nervous, boom, they're on you. They will look after you because they want to help. And that's why I always say to people, just take a mate, but you don't really need it. Take an audio book, get into your zone and just walk.
Absolutely.
Just walk on that treadmill, incline walk. I do like 6% incline, 6 kilometers an hour, 60 minutes, you shred. If you can't be bothered running, just do that. And I can do emails at the same time.
The biggest change for me was that just walking uphill has made the biggest change in my body composition in years.
Well, if you put like a weighted vest on, game changer.
I can imagine.
That is it. So I've just developed, I've just built an office up in, because we live in Clitheroe in the north of England, because I've got a company called Willpower, and like people saying, you're going to have to move it to London, you have to move it to London to take on all the biohackers. If you want to ever expand into America, you need to be in London. I thought, you know what? I absolutely frigging don't.
Love that.
I'm going to do it from Clitheroe.
Love that northern stubbornness.
Exactly.
Love
stubborn as anything. It's going to be the biohacking capital of the world, and we'll take on Goop from Clitheroe, by the way.
Gosh.
So we'll see. I mean, it's so funny because it's a real market town. People go, well, what's this then? What are you doing in there then? All right. Willpower, did you say? Fandangled.
So when you think about this world that you find yourself in now, right, and you're looking out, especially on social media, there are so many kind of trends and things that will come around and be really popular for a while. You must hear some batshit crazy ones, right?
Oh, I've done some batshit crazy.
Have you done some? What's the most batshit crazy?
Okay, right. Can you see those little scars on my forearm?
Yeah.
Right. So let's see, it would be about 20, it was pre-lockdown. So just kind of like, I think I just started my account and somebody said to me, have you ever done Cambo? Cambo, right? Because I wouldn't do anything. You must have heard of like shamans and stuff and ayahuasca and everything. So I wouldn't touch that because mind-altering substances. But this is before I understood about dopamine and ADHD and all this stuff. I didn't know anything about it. So I was still seeking, why was I such an active alcoholic? Because I'm in sobriety at this point. Anyway, somebody said, Cambo can release repressed trauma, generational trauma and everything. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I will do that. Now, most people go to South America to do it because you have this tree frog and on its back, it has like a sebum or something and it's got like a poison in it. And what they do is you have like a shaman and all that in South America. And I didn't go to South America. I went to Tottenham.
As you do.
Because it was just easier, because I needed to do it in an afternoon. And
because you made your mind up, you're going to do it.
I want to do it now. So I went to Tottenham, and I'm in this flat in Tottenham with this lovely lady, and they get like this joss stick. Well, first of all, you drink about a litre of water, and then she gets like, it looks like a joss stick, and she burns these, and they're called gateways.
Right.
And she starts like singing, and there's like sage and everything. I'm very much out my comfort zone, the girl from Wigan, right? And I'm like, okay, go with it, because I'm open to everything. And what she does is she mixes this paste, and it's been flown over from South America. The frog is fine. It has to stay in the forest. Okay. And she puts like these little black dots of like this paste. And all of a sudden, you get really hot, your face swells up. I've actually got before and after pictures because you look possessed, right? God. I mean, like this. And my friends are like, it's the worst thing they've ever seen. My face looked like it was melting. And then you just vomit violently for 20 minutes while she sings at you about a Cambo frog. That was one of the ones I won't recommend.
Oh, I was expecting, and then I was off my tits.
No, nothing.
No, you just really swell
vomit,
up and really vomit.
Really vomit, and apparently that's a purging of ancestral.
Do you know? I'm
trauma.
quite pleased that they're sorry they did it like that, because I was like, can I please get this person in Tottenham's number? Until you told me it was that. Okay,
it's just vomiting.
That's it.
But me being me thought, I might go back and do it again. It was that horrific. So I did it again, and I've got 3 more scars here. And then I had to do it with another lady.
Really?
Yeah, so we did it. And I thought, I just want to check. I didn't do it. But a lot of people say it's really helped them and everything. Yeah. I just really vomited a lot. And I did a video. Swell face. So that for me was a step into the shamanic whatever. And I'm like, it's not for me, babe.
It's not for you.
It's not for me.
Right.
Tottenham was fine. It was a hoot. I've had many a good night in Tottenham. But that afternoon was a little bit raw.
So say you're someone listening to this who feels stuck.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Who's kind of like, who's, in a part of their life, they feel stuck. They really want to get out of this feeling of being stuck. What are some simple things that they can do, that they can take action to get unstuck?
First of all, if you're feeling flatline, brain fog, definitely look at an ingredient called MCT oil, right?
Right.
MCT oil is just from the coconut. And you can get it from actually goat's milk as well. It's a medium chain triglyceride, which means it's only got a few carbon atoms in it. So it's a little fatty acid that bypasses the digestive system. What you're looking for is C8, which means carbon 8 carbon atoms, which means it's very, very small. So your average vegetable oil is like C48 or something like that. Very, very long chain. So it has to go through the digestion. So what you do is you get a tablespoon of MCT oil, maybe even a teaspoon actually. It's not that expensive. And what you do is you swallow it. It tastes a bit like warm water, warm oily water. There's no coconut taste to it. And
start at a teaspoon.
And start at a teaspoon, because I will tell you what happened to me in a minute, because obviously me being me, I wonder what 2 will do.
I think the same happened to you as it happened to me.
Yes, it did. Disaster pants. Poogie pants. Yeah, anyway. And that also happens to my mate Claire at work. She's like, why do I listen to you? I've been listening to you for 40 years and it's always ended up in shit. She's like having to leave like she works with like recruitment. She goes, gonna have to leave this meeting right now. So basically what the great thing about this oil is it bypasses the digestive system because it goes into the lymphatic system.
Right.
Straight away hits the liver, where it's converted from a fat into a ketone.
Right.
And that was the energy source I was talking about earlier. And that goes back into the bloodstream and shoots up to the brain. And it gives your brain a different energy source to glucose or even alcohol or, in that chronic state.
Yeah.
And that for me, combined with a bit of coffee, I blend it with coffee, helped me turn the lights on a little bit. Not a wired, not a high, nothing. It just made me go, okay, I feel a bit different. Now, what's available now, like 10 years on, you can actually buy exogenous ketones. And I don't know if they should be selling them on a company called health.com, but they've got, it's called Ketone IQ.
Ketone IQ,
Yeah, really strong. And I mix that with, I don't know, some electrolytes or something, and that will push me through the mundane.
Right.
Because I really struggle with mundane. List making, packing, cleaning, fucking laundry, dishwasher.
Yeah.
Those are real challenges for me. They're the real challenges,
absolutely. Yeah.
And there's stuff that you should be able to just do really easily. And I procrastinate, and the house looks like it's blown up.
Yeah.
But, and then I'm house pride. So how does that work? So for me, that is my go-to piece of artillery.
Right.
Now then, most women will be told that their bloods are normal. Hormones, normal. Yeah. That is not, if you have symptoms, you are valid. So if I were you, use ChatGPT, put your symptoms in, and when you next go to the doctor, get the phrases that they must act on. That is the best thing to do, because they will see you as someone who can't be ignored then. So if you are perimenopausal, you really do need to know what your hormones are. Unfortunately, a blood test in the middle of whatever part of your cycle you're on isn't probably going to do it.
And also the ratios within that are so huge.
Huge. And they're based on a healthy population.
Yeah, exactly. And they're massive.
So if you want something from your doctor, you can do that. But in my opinion, there's great tech out there now. There's a new device called Myra. which is, it looks like an egg and they're updating it all the time. Now, it's not cheap. It's about 200 odd quid. But what you do is you wee in a little cup and you put, it looks like one of the old, like a pregnancy stick, and you put it in for 15 minutes and then you slot it into this Myra egg and it will pump out where your progesterone is, it will pump out where your estrogen is and your follicle stimulating hormone. It will tell you all this. It's actually used for people who are trying to conceive, but it's brilliant for women to start tracking their hormones, because we don't do that in the UK. We don't track it by the day. No. It's just when you get an appointment.
Yeah,
and that's going to gaslight you, because they'll say, oh, you're really
and
low.
It's a snapshot.
It's a snapshot in time. And you know, what's the blood going to tell you? Anyway, that's a great piece of kit that's coming out. I've got a sneaky feeling over the next sort of 24 months, it'll be more like a continuous glucose monitor, and we'll be able to track it once and for all, because my level of cortisol is not great for one of my mates. Yeah. I love a little bit of stress. It gets me up and at it. Some people find it gives them anxiety. Yeah. And that for me is where the biohacking community are light years ahead of, say, the NHS, because they're like, you know, your data is yours and you act on what you do and we will optimize you.
Davinia, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for being so open. Thank you for everything you've shared. You know, I think if you think about everything you've been through, right, where you are right today, if there's one lesson that you would like other women to take from your story, what do you think that lesson would be?
Oh, hope. The molecule of hope. Never, ever, ever give up, because what I discovered through biohacking gave me hope back instantaneously, and we can hack into our mood so fast. You can get it back into control. You are in control of your health, nobody else.
Thank you so much. Davinia, on The Mend, we do music to mend by. So we think of 2 songs. So I'm going to ask you for 2 songs that represent different stages of your life. The first one is your inner child.
Okay, so that'll remind me of my dad in the car at Christmas, and he had just, I don't know where he'd been to America or something, but anyway, Sweet Little Mystery by Wet, Wet, Wet.
Wow.
It reminds me of my dad at Christmas going to Liverpool to see the family, and he gives me goosebumps all the time. And I love Marty Pellow, and he's fabulous, and his voice is amazing. And then where I am now, God, it's a toughie, but whenever I think of something, but one of my hardest achievements was like running the London Marathon.
Yeah.
And I remember, to get me psyched up, I listened to Alison Limerick, Where Love Lives, because she played at my 30th when I was in the depths of addiction.
Wow.
And it was great to be able to do something just as extreme, but not in a rave. I did the London Marathon.
Yeah,
so I always think of Alison Limerick, and I always think how fabulous she was. And it was so much nicer to hear her when I'm sober, full of self-esteem, rather than an absolute some dive in East London at my 30th birthday party where I think I went under and I had to go and sit in the loo, cuddle a Tampax machine or something awful like that. I went right under. So yeah, great. Alison Limerick, Where Love Lives.
Yes, bangers. Right, guys, that's it for this episode of On The Mend. If you found that conversation helpful, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. And don't forget to hit follow so you don't miss the next one. As always, if you or someone you know is struggling, just know you're not alone. We put some really helpful support and resources in the show notes. Please do go check them out. Thank you very much. See you next time.